Hello and welcome. Today we're back in Brazil and the Londrina circuit, the long layout, which has a slightly longer first corner, heavy braking on the right hand corner leading into a sharp left. A good place to see some action, I would imagine. The race today is going to be another 40-minute race on the default date, starting at 5 o'clock in the evening to give us a nice sunset finish. We've got medium cloud, a standing start, no mandatory pit stops, and a heavy rubbered race-ready circuit. Our opponents will be the usual maxed out JCW Mini Grid on 120 skill level with high aggression, and once again we'll be starting plumb last. So tyre wear is on 1 by usage, and fuel is on 2 by usage, which means that whilst pit stops are not mandatory, they are required. Our tiny little 44 litre fuel tank will not see us to the end of the race, even if we fill it up. So we will be pitting around about the halfway mark, with a window of a few minutes either side of that. So, without further ado, let's get trackside and let's go racing. It's all very softly at the start. There's not really a whole lot of places to go. You might be able to get the inside, but then you very quickly then end up on the outside. So you don't really make... In some ways it's good. I mean, you know, if you're really aggressive you can make progress. But, you know, you're not going to make any friends doing that. I'm going to back out of this actually. Everything's still cold and this is very tricky through here, especially on cold tyres. We'll get everything warmed up and then we'll give it a proper go. So we're already 6.5 seconds down on the leaders. It's not ideal. They're very good through that first part, through those doubled left actually. It didn't help, I outbraked myself a little bit on the first part. So I'm going to stick his nose up. Okay, he was tight. He was borderline track limits tight on that corner there. So we're still not particularly warm at the back of the car yet. Admittedly, I'm not driving particularly aggressively at all. In fact, quite the opposite. Being very friendly to the car at the moment. watch out for track limits, especially through that little chicane there. Right, see if we can do a better job of the first part of the left this time around. They can go the long way. Nice. That's better. My gears all muddled up in my head. Very easy to lose the rear on the brakes there. So I'm being a little bit tentative in these first few laps. Especially when we're sort of trying to manoeuvre around other cars. This one we're not going to do anything with this one. Maybe on the exit. We're now 6 seconds, so I think we're going to be alright here. We're actually gaining on them now. Very much the Kyle Army end of the spectrum of driving style. Slow and easy. No mad rush. Take a very different line to the AI through there. They tend to hug the apex of the right all the way around to widen up their angle for the left. I tend to square off the left a bit more, or V it off rather than square it off. That's it. Let's just let that one go, I think. They're just too good into there to really make a move work where you need their cooperation. There are better places to do it, and I'd say it's probably better to wait. Yeah, better to wait for one of those places to prop up. wanted to use low there to try and block the path for Dawson. Meant I was a bit later on the brakes and a bit more aggressive into that left-hander than I wanted to be. But it got the job done. Naughty of me, that was a bit wide there. Yeah, I kind of I forced low a little bit wider than I wanted to there. A bit lazy turning in. It wasn't unfair, but it was just not particularly nice. Interesting. See what he does. He tried to cut back on the inside, covered it off. So, fuel is going to be another 39 litres, now standard. Seems to be working nicely for this race length. Close for track limits there. It. Bit wide. Bit too keen on the throttle there. If I'd have just left it another tenth of a second, quarter of a second, it would have allowed the front enough bite to then get out reliably. I was just being a bit eager. But they are quite fine margins on this circuit. It's very easy to overdrive. You're much better off, I think, especially on a 40-minute race, just taking the slow and easy approach. Sweet. Bit of a gift there from Bailey. Thanks, mate. I'll take that. I'm going to run it around the outside. You beast. Oh, awesome. We're still side by side. Make sure we give him just enough room. But not too much. Trouble ahead. Come on. Grabbed fourth too early, don't know why I did that. Messy. Very, very messy. Too aggressively there, front end went a bit light. Like I say, it's so easy to overdrive here, and all it does is serve to warm up your front tyres. And then you end up in that vicious cycle like we did at Santa Cruz, where you then have to push harder to make the lap time, which then heats up your front tyres more, and you got to push harder, and it just snowballs out of control. So yeah, try and keep them sort of mid-80s if you can. And just try and maximise your apex speeds whilst being as kind as you can. Oops. Yeah, it's not the most glamorous driving style to watch, but it's a very effective way of doing it. See what we can do with it, shall we see? Let's have a little look. There was nothing really to lose there by just showing the nose a little bit. Limits, maybe? Yeah, okay. I thought, if I backed off enough, I thought it might have let me off, but it didn't. But again, fair enough, that was well off track, wasn't it? It will come in at the end of the next lap. We could do another one afterwards, but I've got a feeling we can probably jump west if I don't balls up the pit entry. This pit entry's here is really technical as well. Need to be very careful on the pit entry here. Make a right idiot of yourself if you're not careful. See what I mean? So easy to mess that up. Right, let's get some go-go juice in there and see where we end up. Forgive the slurping. Plum last. Helps if you turn in at the right place, Andrew. Does look good in this evening sun as well. Really nice red skies. Oh, who's that ahead of us? So it's Bell and Ellis, right? Cool. Which I think is pretty much where we left off, wasn't it? So 39 litres again, it's worked out nicely. Back of the car was dancing the whole way there. Awesome. We've actually lost a bit, haven't we, there? We'll drop it down to second for this. It's been a little bit low in the revs the last couple of laps. You do not want to hit that sausage curve on the inside there. Oh, that will roll you just like that. This is where I'm hoping I've saved a bit more tyre than they have, and now I can push a little bit harder than they can. Go. Ah, right. Not going to make advantage of that. Work to do, haven't we? Full send. Beautiful. So if you push like this in the early part of the race, while the tyres are fresh, they heat up far too much. Once they've worn down to say 3/4, you can lean on them much more because they don't generate the heat like they do when they're new. You can still heat them up far too much, but you have to push them that much harder. So now we've treated our tyre nicely. We've got a good amount of it left, but there's enough of it gone that we can lean on it more, whereas these guys have probably lent on them more earlier on, worn them out further, and probably still have a residual heat in there as well. A sweet exit. We're going to get two here, I reckon. Well done. Make him work for it, Andrew. So that wasn't about getting Ellis into this left-hander. That was about defending from Porter, because he was right up my chuff. Right, 5 minutes, game on. tight on entry, but job done. No more track limits, Andrew.
Two more laps. No more track limits, Andrew. Little gap there, haven't we? We'll just take it easy on the last lap then. Nice wide berth. Very nice, very enjoyable that. Yeah, that was good that. Skip that. Right, so a 20.0 versus they're in the ballpark, aren't they? 20.1, a 20.0, 22, 4, 3, 1, 6, 5, 6, 4. So they're in the ballpark. But yeah, it's strange that they seem to be that bit slower. A bit odd, but we managed to put a 2-second gap in the end in not much more than 5 minutes. Right, let's get into the replay, shall we? Well, a sort of interesting race. The thing I find interesting about this one is that their fastest laps were not a million miles away from ours, but the general race laps must have been a lot slower. I mean, it was a very, very relaxed race on my part. Only really had to push on in the last sort of few minutes, and yeah, I mean the AI raced nicely. The highlight of this race is definitely the circuit. I think it would be nice if, well, hopefully when the 1.6 version is released, we'll have the AI, you know, like super close, right up our boot lid the whole time, because this circuit would be immense if you had to push that bit harder, and then have that trade-off like we did at Santa Cruz, where do I push and wreck the tyres, or do I take it easier and preserve the tyres? I think that'll be a really good balancing act if they can improve the AI, and then by doing that will force you into that balancing act. Fuel-wise, the 39 litres, I think we lost a bit on this race. I don't think it was major, it wasn't massive, but I reckon we'd lost the thick end of a second and a half, maybe, I would say, which we had to make up, and we were lucky that we were at a circuit where we were able to. Had that been at Santa Cruz, that would have been race ending there and then, so needs to be a little bit wary. There are some races where I think 39 is a little bit too low a number, and then there are races like this where I feel like I probably could have gone to, say, 37 or 36 litres. We finished with a lot of fuel left in the car, so I imagine the AI is probably fueled less, and that's where the difference is. But yeah, it was all's well that ends well. Track limits are a pain here if you're really pushing on, and it's very easy to make a very small mistake that pushes you out into those outer fringes of the track limits as well. So yeah, it's all in all nicely balanced, happy, easygoing race. Yeah, love the circuit. I haven't really been here much before, and I'll be coming back here again. It's kind of it's like a racetrack, like a permanent racetrack version of the Salvador circuit. It's got a similar sort of feel to it. Really, really nice, tight, technical, and you can make a difference here. There are things you can do, your driving style and how you approach your corners and stuff. This first right-hand corner when you're on the brakes, it's an absolute nightmare. Has similar issues to, and it's a very similar setup actually, because that happens, to the Snetterton circuit when you're going into, is it Brundle? The chicane at the end of the back straight, because you're on the brakes whilst you're turning, the back of the car's coming loose, and it's very, very easy to
get it to swing. Similar to Centerton, my solution to it here was to increase the front diff preload. That really helps stabilise everything down and get everything sorted and nice. And you can then rely on it and you can push on it. You haven't got to spoon feed it quite so much. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very, very much for watching. And until the next time, we'll see you later.